Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast. I am your host, Xavier, and I am glad to say that we've got the whole gang back. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Got Anthony, Danny back from whatever crazy disease
Oh my god.
that you had.
I just had a cold.
He had a cold, he says, while fighting off.
Just a cold.
No,
Still recovering a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a terrible cough every once in a while. You'll hear it in the podcast.
oh no, fair warning.
Put your headphones on.
And once again, in his little corner there is Zach. Say hello, Zach.
Hello.
So now I figured today is going to be one of those where, we all had a bit of time to just catch up on some of the things that we wanted to watch, whether it's movies or TV. So I kind of want to make this sort of like an open forum. We're recording this just before Thanksgiving, so it's almost like our little gathering of friends, and we get to celebrate, talk about some of the recent fun stuff we have in movies and TV. So what I'll do is I'll throw it over to Zach because he finally saw a movie that we've been wanting him to see for about 2 years.
Well, first I'm going to start off by saying, even though it is Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of days as we're recording this, I did watch a Christmas movie first.
Nice. Okay.
And it's one from Apple TV Plus. It just came out last week, and it is called Spirited. I almost forgot what it was called for a second.
It came out already?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out
last Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, not even like a whole week. It was like
The Will
4
Ferrell movie?
days.
Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds and Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was funny in the right places. It was emotional in the right places.
Okay.
I was actually kind of surprised. Yeah.
I interesting enough for anybody who's ever seen it. I think I've mentioned in the past. It reminds me a lot of Scrooged with Bill Murray, but way more musical. So I will have to check it out. So overall, you liked it? That's cool.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen Spirited yet.
Okay. No, yeah, it was really solid. I mean, it's based off of A Christmas Carol, or loosely kind of. I mean, I say loosely, but it was like pretty like in your face, like.
Oh, it's definitely
It's A Christmas Carol.
yeah.
But with it's a musical also, so it has that little bit of a twist and some other stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys, obviously,
Sure.
but
Tap dancing.
little bit of a like a couple of little surprises here and there, like plot wise, which was really cool. And I guess it kind of made sense for Ryan Reynolds' character, why things happen the way they happen and all that stuff. So, but it was really enjoyable. I think I would give it a solid like 7.5 or 8.
Wow.
Nice.
I know reviews I read initially didn't like it. They're like, oh, it's kind of whatever.
I actually haven't seen reviews either, so I can't say for sure like what the general consensus would be
All right. Well,
amongst professional quote unquote critics.
So for a Christmas movie, where do you put it on your Christmas list?
It's pretty up there.
naughty or nice?
I give it
2 naughties?
Two naughties,
two naughties, one nice.
Two naughties make a nice.
2 nices.
Too nice. Too furious.
2 nieces?
Good job. Okay. Yeah. I will hold your opinion in high esteem, and I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really
I
good.
like it. Cool.
Give it a watch if you guys haven't seen it yet. I mean, it just came out, but it's on Apple TV Plus.
Cool.
And then the other movie that I watched before I watched Spirited was Knives Out. I finally got around to watching it.
Hey.
And my original, well, not my suspicion, because of this whole like DVD box thing that kind of spoils who the. Well, in this case,
Why
I guess
would you even look that up?
Don't spoil it now.
No, well, it's not that I looked it up. I came across it on like a reel or something on Instagram.
Major spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Skip 5 minutes beyond. I don't know. Skip to anywhere where he stops talking about Knives Out. But go ahead.
Because I mean,
you're gonna spoil
my initial thoughts or my initial like spoil. Or okay, I was spoiled beforehand, right? So, the DVD box set kind of tells you like who the killer is if you flip the outer sleeve the other way and stuff, and
It shows that Ransom's the killer.
yeah, kind of, which for a good chunk of the movie, I'm like, man, okay, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be, and then okay, now when Daniel Craig's character just at the end started like putting everything together. I was
Yep.
like, okay, now it's starting to make more sense, and why that DVD box set is kind of accurate, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess you could say attempted murder, but
Yeah.
not.
Technically attempted because it wasn't really a thing. Yeah.
I mean, he did murder someone else, but
But whoops.
the initial, because the whole movie was about, like the, the father / grandfather / whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, the patriarch of the
Yes.
Drysdale family. Yeah.
Since the movie revolved around him and his death, you're led to believe that it was someone else, but then we find out later that someone else tried to kill
Sorry,
him.
not Drysdale. It was the Thrombley family.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Jamie Lee Curtis. I think was like married into it somehow, and she
Yeah.
was hilarious. By the way, as like a side.
Wait, married? No, I thought she was a daughter. She's the daughter.
She's a daughter. Oh, she's daughter, but then she took the husband's last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was Don Johnson. It's coming back to me. It's been 2 years since I've watched it.
And then there were a
Twice.
couple of little things thrown in there, which if you're not paying attention, you're not gonna get it. But I picked up on them pretty like right away, like Anna Darmus, her character throwing up when she lies,
Mhm.
Yep.
and how that ties into the very last like couple minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And then also this other thing that I'm now forgetting that was kind of like I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with like some kind of MacGuffin. I don't remember exactly like what it was, but there was another MacGuffin that was kind of I don't
Was it about the
remember.
will? No, I forgot. It was something.
No, it
with-
wasn't the will. It was
No.
something else. But it was very like the little details made this movie like really like a lot more than what it is, or what it to the normal viewer would think it is. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. If you're paying it, it's
Like,
one of those things where
if you're paying attention.
it rewards paying attention. That's
Exactly.
why these days I see a
Yeah.
lot of people like they're like on their phones or have their phones in their hands. Like put that down.
You're gonna miss.
You're gonna
a lot
miss
of stuff.
something super important.
Yeah.
Or you'll miss like a sight gag, or you'll miss something that's recurring, or just like a quick like anything in frame or out of frame. Like it's one of those things where I I don't want to be that guy. It's like put down your phone, but it's you have to. Like I know Anthony's with that with like family and other people. Like dude, like you're not even watching. Like he'll
Yeah.
point it out.
Yeah, I'll just pause it. Like, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, if you're ever over at Anthony's and you're on your phone, he will
Ooh.
pause it on site. Fun fact: I don't know if you knew this, but kind of what also sort of spoils the killer. It's actually a detail in the movie, and apparently it was something that Ryan Johnson had found out because by basically using. Funny enough, we talk about Spirit and Apple TV Plus, Apple products. Apparently back then, I don't know if it's still the rule now, but it was like villains or like the main or like really like the really bad people, like they don't want to have them using iPhone or like using Apple stuff. So Ransom never held an iPhone at all.
I've seen that article somewhere, or
Yeah.
or someone.
And he
talked
even
about it.
points like Ryan Johnson even pointed it out. And hopefully that's not the case anymore, because especially with Glass Onion coming out, you don't want it to look like who doesn't have an Apple phone, or they all have Androids or something like.
Well, because Marta, she also had a non-Apple device, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess would make sense
It
in that
narrows it
you're
down.
led to believe.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
narrows it down. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And one thing that I also picked up on was earlier in the movie when I think his name is Harlan.
which one? The older Don Johnson guy?
No, the patriarch
Oh, Harlan. Yeah.
Harlan. So he mentioned something about like the knife. That he picks up the knife and he's saying like something about being a real knife or a fake knife or whatever it was, right? And then that ties to again at the end.
the very
when
end.
Mhm.
Yeah,
tries to
with
kill her, but
tries
it's
to
a,
with
it's
that
a fake
knife.
knife.
It's a plank.
like a retractable kind of like toy.
It goes
knife or
in.
whatever.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun.
That was one little thing, and the other thing was I guess the Harlan's mother, the really old lady that you think is like delusional and
Yes.
losing her mind.
No,
Oh,
she's
she was great.
completely like in on it. Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
she kind of like did kind of lose her mind because she thought Marta was Ransom. So
Yeah. Because she was like, that's that person. Because she was pointing out like it was.
you're back here again.
Yeah,
or-
you're back again. It's like not me, but it was Ransom. But Yeah, that was Great Nana Winetta, right?
Great Nana Winetta.
Wasn't
Nice.
that her? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah. Yeah, they called her Nana.
Nana. Yeah.
So those little details really, really are rewarding.
Well, that's the thing. Like in mystery, like murder mysteries, or small like fun thrillers and stuff like that. Like it's great to see when all this stuff connects, or like if you pay attention, you can follow along. Like if you watch, like it's like old Sherlock Holmes stories. Like you follow on, like, oh, okay, so this is how they did it, doing this route, and so it's really cool.
Yeah, and it was really this was really well done.
Oh yeah,
Really well done.
that's why the hype for Glass Onion is real.
Yeah, and we're watching it tomorrow. So
Yep.
as of recording.
FYI, when hopefully you listen to this on time, Glass Onion will only be in theaters for a week if you want to see it in theaters, and then you have to wait a month before it goes on Netflix.
December 23rd is when it hits Netflix. So 2 days before Christmas, that Friday, basically.
At least getting a theatrical release, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it deserves it, but it's we're like, go to the movie theater purists. Like, we're not stuck up about it, but we just like the movie theater experience. It's always a lot of fun.
Especially with a group.
Oh yeah.
I think this is Netflix testing the waters because they usually don't do this. So hopefully it makes some money.
But the first one was a theatrical release, so
yeah,
It was.
and it made money,
Mhm.
and then it got critical acclaim and
Word of
got
mouth
into
pushed
the
out. Yeah, we were.
Oscar buzz and all that. and-
Yeah, we were
I
there.
mean, they did also spend a lot of money to get the rights from Ryan Johnson.
right.
Yes.
So hopefully it makes money, even though I don't really see them advertising it too much that it's gonna be in
Yeah,
theaters.
no.
So it's like, I don't know, they kind
But-
of they might shoot themselves in the foot, but by not advertising.
And trailers haven't even been in the theaters, I think. Have it? No, they have,
I
right?
don't know. I've only seen the trailers, I think, on TV or online.
Might have been just online. Yeah. It's missed opportunity, but so somebody at Netflix, you're sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, they need money, and you can get money by putting your movies that you're spending.
Spend a little
Lots
bit
of
of money
million-
to get a whole lot of money.
Yeah, you're spending lots of millions of dollars
Yeah.
for a movie that's on your streaming service. That's not really getting.
Well, I mean, this movie wasn't even on Netflix. They took it off of Netflix.
yeah,
and I
which
had
is
to
weird
rent it.
because they own it.
I
know,
think
it's weird.
I think it was like a quote unquote marketing
Purposeful?
strategy.
No, that
that's a
doesn't make
stupid
sense.
strategy.
Okay, no, that's why
Just
that's why I put air quotes. It's a
It's air
marketing
quotes 'cause
strategy.
It's garbage.
Just like someone like you who wanted to watch the first one before the second one comes out.
What if
Why
some-
wouldn't it be on there?
What if somebody's like, "Yo, I want to watch Knives Out. Oh, I have to have Netflix, and I don't subscribe to Netflix. All right, awesome. Let me subscribe to Netflix. I don't know.
And then it's not there.
And it wasn't anywhere? You checked in Amazon or anything?
Yeah,
else?
it's
I-
nowhere.
Showtime.
Yeah, I checked kind of everywhere where you can watch it. You
HBO?
had to rent it basically.
That's yeah. I don't think even HBO.
Oh,
No.
Netflix.
I think like for competition purposes, I don't think they would put on HBO Max because it's Netflix.
But it was on Netflix
It
before.
was because
Yeah,
it
no,
was.
it's theirs. It's theirs. So
they purchased the rights to it and then gave. So they purchased the rights to it. I forgot how much they spent. Maybe I think they spent like 400 million to purchase the rights and for him to
Have
do
like a
2 more
sequel.
movies.
Yeah.
yeah.
2. So he's gonna do a 3rd one as well.
I mean, it's kind of like Disney when they took off Avatar for the re-release, and then
Now it's back.
now it's back. But at least now it's back before you watch Avatar 2.
A month
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, it gives you plenty of time to watch it beforehand. So,
Mhm.
but this was just felt kind of the opposite of what should have happened. They took it out of Netflix
Yeah, pretty silly.
right before this one comes out in theaters. I don't know.
We have opinions. That's all. We'll leave it at that. We have opinions. All right. So I'm very happy for you, Zach. Good job. I'm glad you
Yes.
enjoyed it. You saw 2 good things that you didn't. Were
Easily like a 9.5.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's very
I
good.
get
That's,
It is
that's
that's
one of their
strong.
higher ratings
Like a
there.
Yeah.
Strong 9.5 on this one.
It is a very good movie, though. I will
Yeah.
say that. Nice. Okay. Anthony, let me go to the other end of the table.
Oh boy.
Not even a table of the room.
I haven't seen much. I've been catching up and keeping up with Andor, which is excellent. Not many people apparently are watching it, which is a shame because it's a really, really good show.
We don't know streaming numbers or anything, but every time anything you hear anything around of Andor is automatically like, yo, this show is too good. Like it's too good. Like it's like, oh, it doesn't feel like a Star Wars show, but in the best way possible. Like I can go on and on about this show. Like I've been the one like preaching and evangelizing the show. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, I've been telling people to watch it. It's supposedly not getting the numbers that they want. Obviously, shows like um, Obi-Wan and Boba Fett have done much better. I mean, granted, those are very popular characters in Star Wars, and Andor is one character in a offshoot prequel movie. So, I mean, on that point, I can understand, but it's just a shame because this is probably the best storytelling that they've done in Star Wars in a really long time.
It's the best acted for sure, and like one of the in terms of overall writing and like dramatic scenarios, it's the like top tier quality. Like you think this was like a prestige drama, but it's Star Wars. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Definitely when we were comparing it to the other big shows that were out earlier a couple months ago, like with Rings of Power and Hot D.
Hot dude.
And, yeah, and I put it probably right behind Hot D out of the list of like the top notch shows this year. Like it's really good, really well done. And tomorrow's the season finale, and the show's only gonna be 2 seasons, so hopefully people will catch on, and hopefully there's a lot of good word of mouth so people can watch it. I've heard from some people that maybe started it, said maybe it was a little too slow, a little boring. I can understand
Yeah.
that point at the very beginning. You just have to get to like episodes like 3 and 4, and I think you'll be good. But yeah, especially if once it's done, you can binge it. And I think those people that maybe were hesitant at the beginning might like it a lot better just by binging it.
Yeah, like what do you guys think? Like
Yeah,
in terms of
that show's
because
awesome.
especially like, with this being like it sets up like as that real hard like this is drama and there's
It's
a
the war
stuff.
in Star Wars.
Yeah, and then not even it's like not even full out all out war. It's like the
Behind
real
the scenes
subtle
wars.
underneath undercurrent, the real like
The
nitty
underbelly.
gritty. This is what it feels like to live in the Empire. Like that's you barely get that from anything else. Like everything's sort of like okay, like Tatooine. Okay, we're kind of like we're in a desert. It's hard to live in a desert, but we're on Coruscant, and it still feels like dingy. And there's nice parts, and then you have other planets that just feel like they're just that outward oppression as well as the overall atmosphere of what the feeling is and the ambience of all the citizenry that live in there is just like like this is existing, we're not living because it's the empire and there's this brutal oppression. I think even Luthen Rail says it's like I think it's getting to the point where we're so used to the empire's grip around our throats that we don't even notice that they keep squeezing further and further in. That's definitely a
He has
paraphrase,
all
like
the
misquote, but
quotes.
it's legit. Like you feel that, and all the side characters help bring that to life in some way, shape, or form.
It's
so
also
good.
shot really well. Like it doesn't seem like, CGI galore. Like it looks really good.
Because it doesn't have to be. It's not.
True.
There's no Jedi, so there's no lightsabers. There's no powers being utilized. There's barely blasters being used. So, I could see why they cut corners in cost with that, but they put the money somewhere else. They put it in
Going
cinematography, going on location and shooting
there, it is.
in actual places.
He said it.
Not
I mean,
on a
I
stage.
like the
I love the
I
volume.
like the volume. It's cool,
It's
but some shows like I definitely Obi-Wan, you could tell where it was like this whole thing is the volume. Like you could tell it just wasn't a set. Mandalorian, I felt. Well, I mean, they were the first ones to use it, but I felt that they use it well in Mandalorian. But some of the shows after that, it seems like they're using it a little bit too much, and maybe they have to find a good medium
I think
to use it.
Yeah, I think it goes to say that, yeah, we're reaching, maybe not the limit, but we're reaching where it's over, like an overuse of the volume. That, okay, like how do we mix it in with more practical sets? Like all the stuff in the, I forget the name of the main street in Ferrix, but all of that section, that's all like a real live set. Like the guy banging on the gong at night, like that's all legit. So it's much more believable and real, especially when you're
Mhm.
talking about having to fight back oppression. Like that's gotta feel real, gotta feel dingy.
Zach, didn't you say they use like a racetrack stadium for part of a set for this show? I think you sent it to us. No, I know somebody did.
No, it definitely wasn't me because I haven't seen it. So
You haven't seen the show?
No.
Somebody definitely sent that to me. I could have sworn it was you.
no, I don't think.
I could have
think
sworn
so.
it was you. Maybe
No.
maybe it was like my cousin who also likes
F1.
F1 that they've used.
Was it
I don't even remember.
was it on like Niamos? What I call Star Wars Miami?
No, it was definitely one of the like Coruscant.
Dude, you're
sets.
missing out on
It
Star
was
Wars
a-
Miami.
It was a Coruscant set.
There was a
Oh,
Star
okay.
Wars.
It's
Miami
Coruscant set that they used like I guess like the indoors of one of these F1 stadiums, and they used it to emulate parts of Coruscant. It was pretty cool.
That's
So
cool.
I've
there you go,
never-
Zach.
I've
watch
never
it.
heard of that.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
I'm sure
Yeah.
once I wherever part of the show that's in, I'm sure I'll maybe recommend.
Dude, you
it.
need
Oh
to,
yeah, it looks kind of
like,
like this.
this is the one guy. It's just like, yeah. I also didn't. It was just. I'm gonna throw something at you.
Jeez.
Anyway.
oh, wasn't it the McLaren headquarters?
Yeah, somebody
could've
sent it to
sworn.
me.
Wasn't it you, Danny?
No,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was me,
yeah,
yeah.
it was Danny then.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Oh, it was
Danny.
Was
So
it
it
you
wasn't. It's not a track. It's the headquarters for one of the
Any-
teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
which
something
they
So I
had
was,
to do
use-
with
I was
racing.
thinking about it.
They've
I was
Something
used it
like,
had
in
to
a
do with
couple of
racing.
other, like they use it in Hobbs and Shaw, on
Sure.
that island.
Oh, okay.
That same
Yeah,
headquarters at
appears
McLaren.
as a backdrop in Andor.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
the McLaren Technology.
So
Center.
not a stadium.
Oh, it
it's
was
just the
episode.
headquarters.
It was
Yeah, like a
episode 4.
headquarters.
Got it. I got confused.
Yeah, episode 4.
Oh
Thanks,
yeah, it was
internet.
the inside of the
Inside
building.
building.
They use it for
Like
one
modeled
of
it.
the, Yeah, yeah, that's
cool.
what it was.
So there you go. Watch it.
Now you have to.
yeah. Now you have to watch it.
He'd be like, "Oh, cool, McLaren. Let's watch it
I'm mad right now.
in space."
But going to what you were saying, like you guys been watching it since it came out, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, week by
Like,
week.
Week by week.
Week by week.
Oh yeah.
I started maybe last episode. I kind of binged
So
it
you
all.
watched
So in
1
episode-
through 10 or whatever.
You said 1 through 11, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
And how was that? Did it?
Yeah.
Like,
How
it
that
was,
feel?
It was,
It's awesome.
it was awesome.
Okay.
Like, yeah, 1 and 2, like you said, is a little slow, but it was enjoyable because you're getting to get used to this side of
Like,
Star
Mhm.
Wars.
I'm sure it's like all set up too.
1
It
and
is,
2 are
but-
set up for
Mhm.
3. 3 like was
Three
the-
was like
it
what?
had the pieces of scenery that we saw in the Rogue One IMAX screening, and
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the little like behind the scenes
Mhm.
sneak peek.
Or yeah, that
So-
that whole scene. Yeah,
The whole idea is that this is 2-season show, and each season is 12 episodes, right? So this first season is
all in the span of like 1
it's
year.
1 year,
Mhm.
and then season 2 will be the following 4 years because they wanted to do 5 years before Rogue One of like what Andor was doing 5 years before Rogue One. And so what they wanted to do with each of these 12 episodes is kind of have like a different director for each like block. And so that's why it's kind of like, oh, maybe the first 2 episodes were boring, but episode 3 kind of concludes the first
Yeah, it's
3
like its own
episodes.
little arc.
So there's multiple 3-episode arcs throughout
Yeah.
the season.
3 or
um,
4.
There's
There's
one
3 and
after
change.
episode 6. There was like one episode that kind of like was like a pause, like middle episode,
So
and then they
connected.
started, and then they started a new 3-episode arc after that.
Yeah, 8, 9, and it's like 8, 9, and 10, maybe 11. Like because there's 11 deals with some fallout from episode 10, but
Right.
that ties into it, and then so now the finale is sort of like everything coming together, and I think I have predictions, but I can't say them
Yeah.
now because Zach. But
But
also,
I was definitely hooked, and it was
Yeah,
awesome
so
being
good.
able to see it like right
All
after.
together.
man, I always felt that I was the like being like the big Star Wars guy. Like, I would go into work and I'm just here like at work, just like preaching. Just this show is the business. Like this show is legit. This is the last piece of what we've been kind of missing when it comes to like Star Wars and what the feeling of it is. And I've had people at work just like, all right, is it? It's really that good? And like, it felt almost like I was like the odd man out trying to defend the show and trying to tell everybody, dude, you need to watch this. This is so good. This is like really like the next level of, like this is like, Star Wars given in the hands of somebody who like is able to really go beyond the standard space opera esque stuff and really get deep into like the grays or the nitty gritty of what it takes to really like rise up and like there's you have to do some real get your hands dirty basically. It's really good. And also like I'm a big fan of like spy thrillers, so like things like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the Apple TV Plus show Slow Horses. That's a, sort of like a kind of dark comedy spy thriller, but it's like stuff like that. Like it really ties into that, and it's extremely well done. I cannot talk about Andor enough. Like this might just turn into like the Andor episode, but we'll
Yeah.
save that for when the finale airs, and I'll have
And
a
when
whole
Zach
thing.
watches it,
Yeah.
Exactly.
so we could all
Death
talk about it.
Stare.
No, I mean he has time, so whenever
I've got time.
after tomorrow's episode, then he could just binge it all one day.
That's what your Thanksgiving day is about. Like,
Sure.
no, I'm not gonna help anything. I'm just gonna sit here and
I may never help out with Thanksgiving dinner anyway. So
exactly.
No, nice.
And that's why that's Andor time. Good for you.
Next week he's gonna be singing like Hamilton, like "Rise up, rise up."
He wants to be the man in the room. All right. So speaking of the man in the room, he's coming back. So Danny, regale us with your sick cold movie watches.
yeah, these
I
classics.
did watch a lot of movies.
There we go.
So I'm gonna split this into two parts. First part, I'm just gonna rapid fire some movies I saw.
Okay. So we'll call this the Danny lightning round.
Yeah, and then the second half or the second part, we're gonna talk about two classic movies that I saw.
He says classic.
Classic.
Let's see what's classic.
So is this
about
like
it.
70s or
Late
he said
90s,
90s.
2000s,
He said
late
90s.
90s? Oof,
but we're gonna talk about it.
I feel old.
You
We're
say
gonna have fun.
70s or late
I
90s?
don't think Zach's seen them.
I'm fine if you spoil anything. So
No, don't
No,
spoil it.
don't do that.
Spoil it.
Okay, so
Don't spoil it.
hey, if
I
I, say
think-
it's okay, it's okay.
No.
I think Xavier saw this one, or maybe it was Anthony. Don't worry, darling.
Yes, I've seen it.
He saw that one. I
It was
haven't
on
seen it
HBO
yet.
Max.
Yes, sir.
Um,
And
it wasn't as bad as I think everyone was saying. it to be.
agree.
It
Mm.
was
But
a
it
solid
also
watch.
wasn't great.
Correct.
It was like, it was okay.
It was there.
It was a film. Sure,
It's
Olivia
on-
Wilde will appreciate that you felt like you enjoyed it.
It's on HBO Max, so give it a shot.
Okay.
Then I saw on Peacock, I saw Beast. with
Oh,
Idris
you
Elba.
saw
Oh,
It's on
Beast.
Peacock. I
And
should
Yeah.
watch that.
I
How
liked
was
it.
that?
It
You
was
liked
ve-
it?
It was
Really?
enjoyable. I thought it was gonna be
Idris
cheesy.
Elba versus the lion.
Yeah.
And some creepy like people that you'd find in the game Far Cry or something. I don't know.
It was really good. The lion looked actually really good for CGI.
Ooh, oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, it's always they never took like
They've been doing good lines
video
for a
of
while,
just-
though.
Yeah.
you know what had great
Aslan
lions?
was a good line.
No, you know what was a great lion or tiger?
R.
R. You already know. Now that was some interesting animal CG.
But Beast is on Peacock. Peacock's actually been having a lot of theater exclusives on there, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Oh.
Halloween ends.
so check that out.
Disappointed. I'm
Didn't-
just
didn't watch
disappointed.
I got to see.
Disappointed.
I think Zach saw this one because you mentioned it in a podcast episode a while ago. Dracula Untold.
Okay,
Wow.
Yeah, I
Oh,
watched it.
I saw
yeah.
that.
We're going back there.
I watched it when it came out.
My boy Luke
2013.
Evans.
I was like, this isn't that bad.
Wait,
And
2013 or
then
2014? Somewhere around that time.
2014.
2014. Okay.
In the beginning, I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then like the movie went on, and I was
And
like,
then when we
this,
kept going, you're like, oh,
Yeah, it was.
this is
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. It's like,
And
oh,
they were trying to build the whole monster like verse.
Big
Was this
verse.
part of the monster?
Yeah,
verse?
Yes,
so
it was.
supposed to be,
Like,
like part of
that
it,
was the
yeah.
first one.
Oh,
and
wow.
then Tom Cruise's Mummy.
Yeah, that did not go well.
Oh, God.
And then we'll move on to a recent release, which is also on Peacock. I saw Nope.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah. Remember we gave Nope
Good
a
movie.
yup. It's
Good
very
movie.
good.
Do you like
Uh,
it?
I did like it.
Nice.
I was a little confused at the end.
Oh,
I feel
really?
like I feel like I needed something else to like answer it, but I like that it's kind of open ended like that, and
I think it's one of those where
it's supposed to be like that.
yeah, because if you're paying attention, there's some thematic niceness. Or there's some themes going on. It's the whole idea of spectacle and
Yeah.
what you can control versus what you really shouldn't. Those kind of things.
I looked at some like explained videos
Mhm.
for Nope.
It's called Talk to Me. No, I'm kidding.
But those are fun to watch. For this one specifically, and I like all three of his movies. And
Did you catch the you
You
catch
like
the
Us?
did you catch the Akira slide?
yes,
Yeah.
I was
That-
like, wait.
Jordan Peele's like, I had to put that in there. I was like, damn right you did. I
Um,
like it was weird because both Anthony and I are in the theater, and then a mutual friend of ours, a buddy of mine, he called on our very first episode. Shout out to Manny. He's in
yeah.
the theater. I looked up and he goes, dude, like, it's like we're all looking at each other like the Akira slide, the Akira slide. And like a couple other people in the theater got that. It was we all like collectively had a moment. It was really exciting. But
That happened,
glad you
out,
saw it
and I was
too.
just like,
Yeah, it's like I'm
and
like,
he's like, yeah, I think so.
gotta be. And I look at him and he's just like, yo. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
and it was pretty funny too for a horror movie. I just like how throughout the movie he was like, nope.
Dude,
It was so good. The way he said it, and just like the way things were happening, and he's like, yeah, nope.
that point when it was raining, he just
Yeah.
looked at nope. Yeah. Or the barn. Nope. That was amazing.
So
That was awesome.
I'm trying to ask this without spoiling anything. So the scene that was, at least to me, pretty creepy. The scene that had a lot of the characters screaming.
Do you remember that one?
How did you feel about that scene?
I mean, it was like the long sequence, right?
I think so.
Where
Yeah.
it shows like inside the.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
That's all you need to know. Yeah, that
Okay.
whole sequence.
Sorry, I'm
Um,
trying not to spoil it. So I'm
right,
like,
me
I'm
neither.
trying to
Me
figure
too.
out.
Just
Me
try
neither.
not to, but yeah.
Zach has no
I
idea
don't
what we're
want
talking
to.
about.
I don't want to say anything, but
No, but how'd you feel about that scene? Did you think it was creepy or
it was creepy, but it wasn't scary.
right?
He's never seen Fire in the Sky.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
So for a second, when that scene started,
Mhm.
I started like nodding my head. I was like, no. I was like, don't do this.
I was having some PTSD.
I was
Because I think we were in Dolby, and I look at it, I was like, no, man. Like, this is where we were collectively going, nope. Like, this,
for a
mm-mm.
second, I thought it was gonna be like a long sequence of, like, from someone's point of view,
Mm.
and I was
Yeah.
like, I hope this isn't
Please
like
don't do that.
what I
And
hope it is, and it wasn't, but it was like creeping me out for a second. But
what they call triggering.
go watch Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, that
because-
was
Oh,
was
I gotta
something.
watch that because
Yeah, dude.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you might. It's an older movie. You might kind of freak out about it, but
I think you mentioned it in a podcast
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, we were
That
talking
was,
about like creature features and stuff. Yeah, it's
Mm.
woo.
That's just
Scary.
Yeah,
And I like the
don't watch it at night.
Or do.
I'm just gonna say Best Buy employee,
Oh,
but
yeah. That guy's
No,
hilarious.
that's not. He's not the Best Buy. That's what's the name of
I
that
don't know what
freaking?
store it was, but
No, it's popular on the West Coast. Like they have
he was cool.
Fry's Electronics. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. He's great. Yeah, that dude was I think it was Angel. Yeah, that guy was hilarious. He's like, oh, the cameras, and it's too cool. And dude, the purple people eater song was that was definitely a callback. I think like half the theater's like, what the hell is this? But like Anthony and I know what that is. Old ass song.
But
Good job, Jordan Peele.
pretty solid.
Good man. Glad you enjoyed that.
And then now we'll move on to the second part,
All right, rapid fire lightning over.
The old ones.
the old ones.
We call now his oldies revisited. I
Uh,
don't know.
so these
Working
two
title.
never seen before.
Hmm.
Okay.
The first one I saw it on Hulu.
Okay.
I guess some people call it a horror movie. But it's The Sixth Sense.
Awesome. That was your first
Oh.
time watching it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know anything about it?
I only knew the line, I see dead people.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Good.
I knew there was a twist somewhere,
But you didn't know what
I
it
didn't know
was.
what.
What twist it was?
Awesome.
Good for you.
but I feel like I figured it out before
How and why?
Because he already knew that there was something going on.
I knew there was something going on, so I think that maybe like made me
You've
figure
seen
it
that,
out.
right?
I haven't, but I know.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
You looked in the back
I
of the box.
figured it
He
out
looks-
Yes.
when he's having the.
No, actually, I think my mom spoiled it for me.
Ah.
Wow, that's
Mother!
mother.
He
So-
was dead the whole time.
I
Spoilers. No, I'm kidding. That's a 20-year-old movie.
spoilers for me. So I figured someone was dead, either the kid, maybe him,
Or Bruce Willis.
or someone else. And then when we get to the dinner scene, or like the happy anniversary scene,
Oh my god. Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
when he gets there late,
Yeah.
I feel like that's where it kind of clicked to me, because she wasn't talking to him,
Yep.
and I
So-
know it was done on purpose to make it seem like she was mad at him,
Someone's paying attention.
but I figured it out there. And then the rest of the movie kind of made like, I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, for sure he's dead.
Yeah. Hey, that's funny. That was Tony. I think wasn't that Tony Collette?
Mhm.
Also in Knives Out.
Yeah.
Nice.
But and then I guess like looking back, like, the opening scene, like that made more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
but,
You're just like, oh wait, he was. Yeah.
But it was a solid movie.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I feel like it would have been cool to not know anything about it, and like not know that there was a twist.
Mm-hmm.
Would have definitely hit more. But still enjoyable.
I mean, it's M. Night, so
Yeah.
twist.
Now watch The Village. No.
Sure.
Or
But that was his like first
that was
movie.
his breakout.
So nobody knew that he was gonna do something like that.
Do
wait,
stuff
what,
like that.
wait, what? The Sixth Sense or Village?
That
The
have a
Sixth
twist.
The Sixth Sense was his first movie.
That was his first movie.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought he had done a couple movies before that.
Nope.
That was his breakout. Like, hey, I can make some cool stuff, and it's true, he can. Then The Happening. So we don't talk about The Happening here.
And about 80% of his movies.
Not 80%.
No, we're just talking about. There's one in particular that Zach never wants to speak about ever.
Which one? Lady
Exactly. No,
Oh.
because it doesn't exist.
in the
Oh,
Water.
wow.
Avatar.
You mean
Avatar?
Aang?
Avatar.
Have Aang?
And have
Aang the
Aang.
Avatar?
Ong
Did
and
you guys
so
ever
good.
see
The
Hero-
laced
um,
Airbender.
Wait, Airbender.
Did you guys ever see Old?
No, I didn't.
No, I wanted to.
That was his
though.
most recent one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on HBO Max.
I heard it's not that bad.
I like that.
Yeah, I heard it's not
It was
bad.
good. Had some twists.
Of
So-
course, I bet it better, but that's on brand if it is.
All right. And then
Sixth
my
Sense.
uh,
Good for him.
next movie,
You know, I might watch
Okay.
it next.
it's on
Tomorrow.
Hulu.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it like Thursday or something.
No, Andor. He's just doing it to spite me now.
That's like 2 Andor episodes, man. Come on.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
more than
Maybe
2
3.
episodes.
Maybe 3. You
Okay,
can probably
3.
watch the first arc.
So the next movie I saw, hold on, I'm just picking up where I saw it at. I saw it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, on Prime, it's a Bond movie.
No,
Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, he's gonna say Gladiator or something. Even though it's
it
not the name.
is Fight Club.
Oh,
First time?
First time.
First time.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And that one also had a twist.
Yes, it did.
And I did not expect it.
Yeah. There you go.
I was watching it with Tina, who was on last week's episode. And I was like, before that twist, I was like, oh, yeah, I knew that happened. Like, saying something.
She was like, hell no.
like the
shut up."
apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
And because she had seen it before. And she's like, oh, no.
Like, you don't know.
Whatever.
Like, you know nothing.
And then the twist happened, and I'm like, wait. I had to rewatch the movie in my head.
I don't think it works if you try to think about all the different scenes in the movie. It probably works better in the book, but
It
There's a
definitely
book,
works better in the
but
book.
yeah,
yeah.
there's a book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it works better in the book, but I think it's still it's still effective in the movie
Yeah.
because of the big reveal. But
Mhm.
it's hard, if you want to go back and be like, oh, when was this thing happening? Again, I'm keeping
No
it vague
spoilers, yeah.
for
Dude,
Dude, I
Zach.
don't care about
Oh, man.
spoilers.
No, yes, you do
Yes, you
because
do.
I don't
these
care
are
about spoilers.
but these are good twists.
Like
These are
there's
good
there's some
twists.
movies
They're
that
good
when
twists.
I eventually see them, I don't want to be spoiled, but
So
most movies I
so
don't
here's
care
the thing
about
with it. Like
spoilers.
part of the whole, if you're gonna then watch something or look at it objectively, you have to go in there not knowing the twist because then
Like,
you're just
if-
gonna wait for it. Like, they see how exciting,
Like, if
sort
I
of
would've-
tarnished.
If I would have known the twist,
kind of tarnished the Sixth Sense for him. Like,
well, if I would have been, if I would have known the twist for this movie, I would have been like, Whatever.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this guy's just
Like I wasted my time.
Yeah, like this guy's just a whole like
Okay,
he's
but-
a piece of crap.
But then that's a good twist, like a mind blowing twist. Like you don't want to know going to the movie. Like,
Exactly.
That's what we're saying.
So that's what we're talking
Both of
right
these
now.
both of these movies that he just mentioned, both have
Those
huge
big
twists. at the end of the
earth-shattering
movie.
twists of
At the end
That's
of
why
the
they're
movie.
classics.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Sixth Sense is considered like a classic good horror movie,
Yeah.
especially from Shyamalan.
Especially
Yeah.
when Misha Barton just barfs on you. Scary.
Oh God.
That part freaks me out still. That's the one scene that gets me. Or like, that I'm stuck in like I'm like and just,
And then I did not expect to see Jared Leto in the movie. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is him?
yes, it is.
And
Honorable Carter.
Edward Norton and Brad Pitt were also pretty good in the movie.
Yeah, they were also pretty good. You know, they kind of
They're decent.
they're all right. Like whatever. Keep
Uh,
forgetting Meatloaf is in that movie.
Meatloaf.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Yeah, which is weird. Because that's so weird. Because that's a voice actor. That's a voice actor's name. That's
and
a
also Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. So it's one of
That's
A lot
a
of people
David
think-
Fincher movie, right?
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say talk about David Fincher. It's like it's a whole like you can go off on like a dovetail about David Fincher. Like that's one of like I think people like that. It's one of his more memorable movies. Like with that. But you also have like some other stuff that obviously is really good, really enjoyable. And things like the Americanized Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but also freaking Social Network. Which we
The movie's good. We just
hate
we're just
the
mad
music.
about the score.
the music. We just hate on the score. Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
7.
7 Panic Room randomly. I forgot that he did
I gotta
Panic
see
Room.
7.
Yeah, 7 is
I
extremely
think he
good.
produced a lot of, or maybe all of, House of Cards. He might have even directed the pilot.
I believe he did direct the
think.
pilot. Yeah. He mentioned Gone Girl, also Zodiac. That was like the beginning of oh snap, Robert Downey's like coming back. Was Zodiac. And then obviously Jake Gyllenhaal is amazing in that movie. And then yeah, he kept it going. David Fincher does good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, talking about House of Cards. Yeah, David Fincher was heavily involved in the American version of it, but the original creator of the British version of it wrote the big arc that just ended in Andor before the finale. Beau Willimon. So it's watch Andor. This whole thing is just gonna be
Bringing
called.
it back.
It's just gonna be called Watch Andor, but also these other movies were great. Dude, man, I'm happy for you. Yeah, Fight Club's a
Two good movies.
very memorable one. So now you know the rule 1 about Fight Club.
And those
Don't
are,
talk about it.
and
Yeah,
I
don't
would
talk
call
about
them
And I
classics.
just ruined it
I would
because
call
I
them
just
classics.
talked about it.
Yeah, we just messed it up. Now we're talking about Fight Club in a freaking podcast.
We'll settle it later.
Yeah, we'll settle. Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere.
Parking lot.
Zach will figure it out.
Oh,
Exactly.
God.
Very nice, guys. All right. Those, like Anthony said, for sure classics. Yeah.
And then the last movie I saw, which we might get into in a moment, that we all saw together. We saw it yesterday at the time of recording.
Exactly. Yeah.
We saw the Banshees of Inisherin.
The Banshees of Inisherin. Yes. So that, I loved it that we all saw it together because we all sort of had like various different, like we all agreed it was good, but it was like, man, like there were some things that kind of spoke to us in a different way. So it's kind of like the whole, like, this is where we get artsy fartsy with it all. Like, I know Anthony had like a kind of reaction like, wow, like I didn't know what to expect out of this. Like it was hitting him from like, throwing him a lot of curveballs, just not figuring out like, not
I
he
thought it was
figured
gonna
out,
be.
but it's
I thought it
like,
was gonna
whoa.
be funnier. It had some funny moments, like very subtle funny moments, but it wasn't as outright funny as other movies that he's done.
But like Martin McDonough, like, so that's he's talking about. He is in Martin McDonough, who's the director and writer. He's done a couple really he's done some really funny stuff, and he's done some pretty dark or heavy,
Mhm.
content. So like in Bruges, very funny, like dark comedy. You have Seven Psychopaths, which I would just say is borderline just a comedy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comedy with a bit of like some other like stuff going on. And then you have a movie like Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which is pretty dark, but it has like real strong, biting dialogue that can be construed as like, oh, that's hilarious given the really, tough and sad like circumstances. And so he can balance it really well. I think personally, like Banshees of Inisherin has that good has a mix, but more so on the darker, like kind of like the somber side of it all. But there were points that were legitimately like, dude, this is great. Or like you had like characters like Colin Farrell's characters, his sister Siobhan, like she was like a lot of stuff that she said was just hella witty, and it felt into character. But this movie's awesome. Like I love it, but you got to go in there knowing it's a drama. That's all you got to know. Like there isn't going to be like some, car chases and some wild action scenes or a step up dance off or anything like that.
To the streets.
To the streets. Broccoli. I'm just kidding. Funyuns, broccoli, and ball sweat. God, I hate that movie. Anyway, back to Banshees and Inisherin. What do you guys think?
I really enjoyed it. From the trailers, or the one trailer, I guess. I just thought it was gonna be a straight up like comedy, and it was like that for the first 30, 40-ish or so minutes.
Yeah.
And then it took a bit of a dark turn.
Yep.
Which
A bit.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, are we
It took
talking
a-
spoilers?
It's a little
No spoilers.
It's
Okay, no spoilers,
It's a
okay.
snippet of darkness. Let's just say that. A snippet.
Like I didn't even see the trailer. I just saw the
But I had sent the
synopsis.
trailer. I had
Oh, the
sent
synopsis.
trailer.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer too, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this.
I
Guy did
sent
pretty-
it in our little group chat
Yeah,
presidents.
you sent it, but I didn't see it.
Wow.
What happens when you
Typical.
don't watch Andor?
Wow. Wow. So it's going back to me now. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's going back to Andor.
And Hot D.
And Hot D.
It always has to be about the hot D.
I swear it's gonna catch on one day. Season 2, and people are gonna talk about that. They'd be like, "Yeah, man, Hot D's coming up."
I got that hot D too. That's what they're gonna say.
Danny, what'd you think? Yeah, you said you only read the synopsis. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, the falling out of a friendship. You're like, the hell is
And
that?
I was
mean?
like, oh, okay, like that. We're gonna go on this type of ride. And then the first 30 minutes, like you said, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a comedy, and then we're just gonna try to figure it out. And then it took a dark turn, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, because Brendan Gleeson's character, Callum, I think is his name. He just says
he
he
says, I'm gonna
threatens-
he says I'm gonna take drastic steps. So Colm tells Patrick, it's just like, dude, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Basically, just like, I don't like you. Like, and it's just, if you keep talking to me, I'm gonna take drastic steps. Let's leave it at that. This one I definitely
And
don't want to spoil for
drastic
people.
steps.
yeah, and
We're
then
taking-
and then
Drastic steps are taken.
well, yeah, because as an audience member, you're like, oh, okay, like okay, he's just like talking out of his ass, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like he's just like whatever. But then 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, you're like, oh, okay, he actually
That happened.
it happened, yeah.
and it gets worse.
And it gets it gets even
Escalation.
like there are
for
times
sure.
where you're like, dude, shut up, just stop trying to like talk to this guy, and then
yeah,
But
that's where
the
it hit
whole,
the fan. and-
the whole cast was great.
yeah,
I know it was shot on location,
yeah.
but it made it seem like such a big film. I want to say.
Yeah, like all the
It-
larger expanses, because I think it was shot, if I looked it up, in the Aran Isles off the coast of Ireland,
Mhm.
and it was like, yeah, like it had like really scenic, grandiose shots of like transition that helped you establish like, yeah, it's an island, but there's a lot, but it's also kind of like expansive, but a little desolate and lonely, and it added to the whole tone of the movie. It's really, really, really well done.
Like I don't think it would have worked if this was set maybe in like a city or like maybe now in today's time.
it was set in 1938.
No,
20.
23.
28.
23 or 28.
23.
It looked like 23. I think because
From the calendar.
yeah.
trying to-
Oh,
Mhm.
you're fooling me. It's the 1st of April. Like it's just, I'm just like, no, shut up. And it's funny because the more you progress, it's the more you see different things that happen with with Colin Farrell's character, and like there's other realizations that you start to make happening. Is it's really enlightening, and again, like it's just how well written it is and how well acted it is too, and then just how well shot it is. Like it's one of these where having Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell like have that rapport as two actors that work with each other. They're extremely like you can tell like they
I'm curious to see
so
the
good
other
at this.
movie that they did
in
together.
Bruges.
Yeah.
Weren't
I
you
haven't-
in Bruges at one point in time this year?
What?
Weren't you in Bruges at one time this year? No,
Nope.
What?
you didn't. When you went to Europe, you went to
Nope.
Belgium.
No, I went to Amsterdam.
You went to Amsterdam. You should have went to Bruges.
Mm.
It's down southwest Belgium. No, you messed up. That would have been great.
I
if
took a
you-
train and passed through Belgium, but
So you probably passed through Bruges. So you were technically in Bruges.
oh, okay.
There.
There you go.
Well, now
I
I gotta
did
watch
it.
the
You did
movie.
it.
I did it. Now you have to watch. You
No,
should.
you don't have to anymore now.
No, honestly, though, you should watch In Bruges. It's great. Basically, Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, they play two hitmen who basically have to like stay in Bruges for a while or for a little bit, just like after a job, and they're just like, Brendan Gleeson's character is just like, oh, this is a nice city, and Colin Farrell's the whole time just like, I effing hate Bruges. Like, I hate this city. It's great. I cannot recommend it enough.
I feel like they would have a cool acting combo.
Yeah, I mean it's funny and it's like practically everybody in Banshees of Inisherin is Irish. Like we had what's his name Barry Keoghan was there too. It's like freaking Dominic is just like a whole character in and of itself.
And his dad.
His dad, the cop, the surly cop of like the one cop on the island. Like
Yeah.
it's nuts.
The bartender.
Dude, the bartender and his
priest.
buddy,
The priest.
and the priest is something totally different.
I did not expect
The
priest to be
two
like
the
that.
two confessional scenes were pretty.
Yeah.
Dude,
They were great.
they were
Great.
hilarious.
Xavier was dying of
Yeah.
laughter.
It's just, you got me there, father. It's just like, you're not gonna punish for what? It's like, well, if you get there, I might as well be there. It's like, what? It's like, you're gonna have impure thoughts. You're like, no. He's like, you're gonna accuse me of having impure thoughts? Get out of my dude. It's really good. Like we're talking about, like, yeah, darkness with comedy. Like it's really.
I feel like they
It's
had
still
it
theater.
pretty balanced in it. And
That's
it
what I
worked.
think. Like, yeah, it dealt with some heavy stuff too. Then there's still that like weirdness of like, oh, I can find humor in the bleakness of the situation, especially like where you're dealing with like the death of a friendship. It's like how people just drift apart or something, and people want to hold on to that because maybe that's all they have, and other people holding on to other things because that's all they have.
Especially in such a lonely town like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was a great kind of segue into kind of like what my recently watched was. Be brutally honest, kind of like Anthony, he's catching up on shows, just all in on Andor. I'm also still watching like some of the Friday releases on Apple TV Plus, like Shantaram and Acapulco. And oh yeah, Mythic Quest is back, and it's definitely funny. Like it's really done
I
well.
gotta get on that.
Yeah, season 3 of Mythic Quest is really good. And I think I don't know if it's I think the first 2 episodes are directed by Rob McElhenney. I can't recall if the third one was, but it's cool to see that he's stepping in and directing more of those episodes. But the way the dynamic is on that show is it's kind of like has a great shakeup going on, and freaking Danny Pudi is awesome. Like Anthony and I know him from Community, so where he plays Abed, and he's kind of like sort of like the atypical big movie buff kind of a person within the study group, but he plays basically like a complete like douchebag in Mythic Quest, and it's awesome. Like monetizing, money grabbing douchebag, and but the rest of the cast is extremely good too. They have I always remember him as what was this guy's the really like pipsqueaky guy from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, what's his name?
Well, I know.
I know who you're talking about.
Like
Yeah.
Cricket, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That actor.
Yes. So he's
Rickety
like
Cricket.
Rickety Cricket.
Cricket.
Yeah. And
Danny, you have to watch It's Always Sunny.
that's David Hornsby. Like he's hilarious. Yeah, he's just Cricket, and
I think it might all be on Hulu.
All of It's a Sunny. Yeah,
Sunny,
Sunny.
yeah, that's where I've been watching it.
Sunny is all on
It's
Hulu.
ridiculous.
Watch it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because
Danny,
if
watch
not,
it.
you're gonna get got.
Danny,
Like-
watch it. It's hilarious. Like this is like extremely like crude, dark.
Basically, everybody on that show is like a piece of trash, garbage, but you can't stop watching them just be pieces of garbage people. Like it's awesome.
The tagline of the show was "It's Seinfeld on crack."
Pretty much, it is
And
Seinfeld
that's,
on crack.
That's pretty accurate.
The gang gets hooked on crack. That gang buys a timeshare. It's awesome. Like that's what established a lot of those people. So
Yeah, like,
Rob McElhaney and Caitlin Olsen, they're married.
they're married. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Day and the waitress.
And
are
the Charlie
married.
Day and the waitress are married. And then
Like in real life.
Yeah.
yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Dennis, funny enough, was actually in a band, I think, with Sam Witwer called the Crash Tones.
Random.
Yeah, that's random, but he's also really funny. He was in man, I think he was in
AP Bio.
AP Bio. Yeah,
Yeah, he was the
he's hilarious. in
But
that.
Olsen, she was also on like another similar kind of
she's on Curb every once in a while.
no,
No,
but
but she had her own.
she had her own show where
She
she
did
was
have her own
also like
show.
like a teacher, or
Sitcom
something,
show, yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, I think I think I had like half a season or something like that. A
I don't
season.
know. I think it's still on.
Is it?
Maybe.
I don't
I think it had
so.
at least 2 seasons.
No, hold on. Maybe.
But you
I-
should watch. You should watch Sunny.
You really should have watched.
Yeah,
Sunny.
Sunny is
Like you should watch it after Zach sees Andor.
Okay. I'll do
yeah,
that.
only after when Zach sees Ken.
All right, give me until the end of the weekend.
Ooh.
Incentives.
Anything to get Danny to watch, it's always Sunny.
You
I
s-
mean,
you
I
have-
I
you
would
just gotta
recommend-
watch. You gotta watch Green Man. You gotta see what Green Man's up to.
and then you got to
or
know about the
Dayman.
day man.
the Night
You-
Man.
You got to
night
pay
man
the troll toll to get in the boy's hole. I'm the trash man. Dude, that episode's hilarious. Sorry, it turned into now into It's Always Sunny appreciation post. So anyway, yeah, watching those shows, but then I also got around to watching it just because it just aired last week on Disney Plus was Limitless. Not to be confused by the Bradley Cooper movie or I think the CBS show
Mm-hmm.
that they try to make it serialized on. So this
Well,
is actually
Bradley Cooper did appear on that show.
he did. Yes.
So it's technically like a
like-
spin-off,
it's weirdly
It's like a sequel
spin-off.
spin-off
sequel spin-off.
of the movie.
It's like
TV
weirdly
show.
a spin-off, but is it canon also? I don't know. But
I mean, Bradley Cooper was in it,
yeah, so it's weird.
I guess.
Yeah.
Multiverse.
It's kind of like what they're
No.
doing.
Limitless
It's similar to what they're doing with Acapulco, where it seems like it's sort of a sequel slash prequel to How to Be a Latin Lover, but other different stuff goes on.
Nice.
But Limitless with Chris Hemsworth got some big buzz because it's goes through 6 episodes of Chris Hemsworth going through different kind of approaches to help with longevity and for just and for kind of better wellness overall. So like one of the episodes it deals with it's like episode 2 was deals with shock. Episode 1 was I remember this because it was about trying to control your emotions or kind of like control stress. So it's about trying to be stress proof. One episode had him going 4 days without eating food,
Ooh.
just kind of drinking, but he's also like trying to like stay active and exercise. Because there's some science going on, like how your mind can kind of focus in on acquiring your food and kind of boost peak performance and peak potential at that time. Then the other episode that's amazing is about strength, like what strength looks like and how it helps you out through later on in life. Like if you're much older, like let's say post 60, 70, you're still like strength training or weight training or being active and moving, like the muscles help with keeping yourself moving, and all of these episodes, like these 6 episodes, like he goes through these little challenges to help kind of like prepare him for something really extreme. And wildly enough, this was done by Darren Aronofsky, which you know him from kind of I'd say more like wild, I don't want to say wild dramas, but like really sort of like almost avant-garde
Wild artsy movie.
artsy movies. Yeah, it's like he did the big one that comes to mind for me is always Black Swan. So I'm like, oh, this is the guy who's also doing this, and apparently he was really into doing it. He's like, oh, I love National Geographic, and I've always wanted to do something like this. And so he, got in touch with Chris Hemsworth and while some of these were shot before he was doing Thor: Love and Thunder. And so, for example, the Strength episode, most of it is shot during his Thor: Love and Thunder prep, and then the culmination of his like actual test of strength is after he filmed it, or like after the filming wrapped up. So it's cool to see, like, you'll see him like in different various like stages of physical conditioning throughout the show, and also like a little bit what he eats, but a lot of the science is shown in these cool like pop-up book kind of transition slides, and then they show real life people exhibiting and show as examples of what topic they're talking about that episode. Really enlightening, and big thing that came out from that is the news broke out recently, guys, that he is going to take a bit of time off from acting to help himself kind of like maybe either spend time with family or just kind of do more with his own self health and wellness. Because in one of the episodes, they actually go through a whole genetic testing and big blood panel, and it shows that he has a high genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's later in life. So I think like, at first it was kind of shocking to read, but then I thought, hey, that makes sense based off of everything we saw. And I think a lot of people watching it is like, oh, can we really believe that he's going to put himself in either danger, or if he's going to like really put himself in like be a little vulnerable when maybe he's just acting during this? But no, I think that's more evidence of like, no, this is legit. And so it was really cool to see someone like him put himself through, swimming through an a Nordic fjord in like 30-degree water, like just in like swim jammers, while his brothers are on a boat like cheering him on. And I'm talking like Liam and Luke Hemsworth. It's the funniest thing ever. Like it's really cool too. And so like you see more of his life too. Like there's a part where he's learning to climb a rope, and like his wife Elsa Pataki is like, oh, I like this, and she's just climbing the rope like easy, and he's just like, it's just, why don't you do it for me then? Like just really funny, almost like these like light comments, but to see more of like his outside of just acting Thor life that he's got going on. So I highly recommend it. It's very informative and really insightful. Kind of some things that someone who's like big into like the kind of the wellness stuff, I saw that, hey, some things I'm doing and some things, hey, I could probably do a little bit more of that. So it's cannot recommend it enough. It's gonna be on like the Nat Geo side of Disney Plus. And yeah, get to it whenever you can. It's a good watch.
I know we were waiting for it to come out for a long time.
Like a year at least.
And it was on the Disney Plus page, like, oh, coming soon forever.
For a while.
The trailer would never like. It's just
Yeah.
here's a 30-second trailer.
It was probably a COVID delay.
Yeah, that or production delay. Like I don't know. I think something might have had to do with there was an injury that he kind of like sprained an ankle or something like that. No, not a sprained ankle. It was actually like a fracture that he had to kind of nurse during filming of that. So hey, it's really cool. I liked it a lot. So Limitless, Disney Plus, give it a watch.
Sounds good.
And then there was something else that we kind of saw. I don't know if it was today or over the last couple of days, where I don't know if it was him or someone had mentioned that the next Thor movie might be the wrap up of the character. Also,
Could be.
Yeah, there was some like, I don't know if it was an interview or maybe something he said where he wasn't sure, or maybe that the next one would be a wrap up for his character. I'm not sure if he was maybe talking about it in the same interview where he said he might be taking a break, but I mean, it makes sense if
Just put Liam
That's on his
Hemsworth to do
thoughts.
it. He's already doing The
I mean,
Witcher.
Well,
it's very possible he won't have to be in a movie until the Avengers movies.
yeah, like
So-
Yeah.
Bill Secret
yeah,
Wars
so it's
or
a
something.
couple of
At least a
years
couple
out,
years.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Damn, that's sucks for my boy Brett Goldstein. Come on, man.
But now we could take it as, okay, he's been playing Thor since 2011. It's been over 11 years now.
Yep.
And maybe it's about time that he just kind of just like the character gets retired from the MCU, or at least this version of Thor. Maybe we get like another version of Thor, like Beta Ray Bill or something. I don't know.
Hey, that'd be dope, but I don't know if the world's ready for Beta Ray Bill.
They
'Cause-
should be.
Because that was I think someone put that in, because it was a post that we saw on Instagram, and someone had commented, oh, they should introduce Beta Ray Bill in the next one, and then kind of like
Transition.
He gets
pass the hammer, so to speak, so, or literally.
Yeah,
Hammer torch.
yeah. He has his own hammer though, but that's the tricky part. But
Okay,
who
then.
knows? Maybe he just gets to keep the hammer.
and then but then also you could maybe assume that maybe because of the stuff that's been going on that maybe uh he wants to like retire the character.
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
that way he can at least maybe step away from like uh the grand scale of what the MCU is in terms of like how much prep goes into it for him being Thor, the amount of like work, like the amount of working out he has to do. I know that I heard something before where he said that he doesn't like preparing for the role of Thor because he doesn't like being so bulky. He prefers
Yeah.
to be pretty
He-
thin.
He has to be a little leaner, like
Like-
from
like
his
leaner?
model days, but like, he can still. It doesn't have to be that massive because it's
Yeah.
work. Like it sucks. It's weird to say, but like you got to eat like 4,000 calories,
Yeah.
and I struggle to eat 2,000.
Yeah, he I think he said something like oh, I always feel like very heavy
Mm-hmm.
because he has to put on a ton of weight in muscle. So
Yeah.
but I'm sure he would like to just step back from that, maybe cut down a little bit more, and if he continues acting for a little bit after that, maybe just do like smaller, less physically demanding roles.
I mean, one other movie that should be coming out soon from him is Extraction 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
On
right, and he's
Netflix.
got to be a top military operative dude. So
So he's still
he's got to still got to be like lean, mean
Maybe
fighting
not
machine.
as big as
Not
Thor.
massive, yeah, but he's
but-
got to do his thing. But who knows, man? Yeah, I wonder what that means about putting Extraction sequels into play. I think they already filmed it though, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it should be done.
All right, cool. Well, and then lastly but not least, I guess speaking of Disney news, we got a couple shakeup at Disney leadership, right?
Got that big Papa Iger
Yeah,
back.
Big
yeah,
Papa.
the CEO, the current CEO, Bob Chapek, essentially got
He
fired.
got the boot.
He got replaced by the previous CEO.
He's
This
back.
is weird. So
Did you say Anthony? I think it mentioned offline that there was like how it went down. Rumors has it right.
apparently, there was some like secret meeting of like only a few of the top execs,
Ooh, Illuminati.
and so like a whole bunch of people didn't even know that this was happening. Chapek didn't even know it was happening
Ooh.
because he was at this what do you call it? He was at the concert that Disney Plus was
Oh, the
airing,
Elton
the
John.
Elton John concert,
Oh, that's right.
and so were a bunch of other Disney executives, and
yeah.
nobody there knew about it either. And apparently Chapek was supposed to introduce Elton John, and then I guess he got the news and he was like, "Yep, I gotta go," and he
Yeah.
did not introduce Elton John.
Oh
but,
man.
but yeah, because it was like an email was sent out to pretty much everyone in the company, an email from Bob Iger saying like, "This is what's happening," and a lot of people thought it was fake. And it's like, nope, it was not fake.
St. April.
But yeah, it's pretty weird. It was pretty weird that it was done on a Sunday, like
Week
Sunday
before
night.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Sunday night right before Thanksgiving. It was just something weird must have happened, and people must have gotten nervous and said, "Okay, we got to get this guy out of here. We got to fix some stuff."
Yeah, I've noticed some poor decision making over the last couple of years, especially when it comes to,
The theme parks.
well, I was gonna say Pixar movies not
And the
being
Pixar
released in
movies.
theaters, or at least not all of them being released in theaters.
Yep.
I can kind of get where during the pandemic it seemed like it needed to be done, but then now even as theaters were starting to become more like opening up more to the public, and and these big companies, Disney, Warner Brothers, whatever else, Universal, are putting out, or they're starting to put their movies kind of back into theaters. The decision for Disney to still release some what you would consider major movies
Turning Red.
only.
Turning Red, dude. This guy's reading my
Yeah.
mind. I was gonna say, dude,
Turning
Turning
Red,
Red.
That
and
was
then-
the big one that really like.
And then not even just theirs, live action movies like this. Disenchanted just came out. That could have easily gone to the theaters.
Yeah, and a lot of people would have
Easily.
gone to go and
Yeah.
pay to see it
Could
because
have got
the
could have
first
got
movie
money
was
out of it.
great. The second movie, I don't know what it's like, but I'm
I think
sure.
they were trying to bank like Disenchanted or Strange World. Disenchanted, Strange World.
Yeah, and
Why
how
not
have they
both?
how have they promoted Strange World?
I'm only
Exactly.
now seeing TV
I feel
commercials.
like
And
they
it's- and it's
promoted
out
only now.
Disenchanted
this
That's
weekend.
how-
I mean, I've seen a couple of
In a few days.
trailers that have come out or that have been shown before, movies that we've seen.
It's like one of the
But even then-
weakest advertising strategies I've seen for like a CGI Disney movie. Like I can't believe how little they're advertising. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's confusing, but
Maybe they know it's not too good, and they're like,
maybe.
let's do it like the Good Dinosaur, and let's just not advertise it.
Whew. Yeah, but hey, remember that the record state that the Good Dinosaur is not Cars 2.
God.
There you go. The Good Dinosaur is not Cars 2.
The Good Dinosaur was good.
Dinosaur.
Spoilers.
Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur was a good dinosaur. It's not We're Back, a dinosaur story.
But I can see where when the movie was out, I don't remember too much of like the hype for it. So
No, not. Well, going back to Bob Iger coming back, all I'll say is that I saw a video of people like waiting for just something in Disneyland, like, and then everybody getting the news, and all those people cheering.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
nuts.
nuts.
Where they're like, that's where you know, like, oh my God, Bob Iger's back, yeah! Like random park patrons cheering for that the CEO
Well,
has
everyone
changed and is
Hated
back.
it because of the whole Genie Plus.
That was
became-
also a decision that was not good. Also, the decision to not keep constructing things during lockdown of the park.
Tron is still
Tron.
going.
So Bob Chapek did not last how long it took for Tron Light Cycle Run to be built in Orlando. Let's
That's rough.
let the records show. But hey, on to familiar but also hopefully fun and new things from Disney properties, Disney, because Disney's still holding a pretty solid ground when it comes to the streaming service of Disney Plus. But hopefully we get some other things from a movie standpoint and theatrical releases that make sense. Who knows, man?
I mean,
Yeah.
we got 2 years with Bob Iger, supposedly,
Before something else happens.
to get it back onto the right direction.
Yeah.
Is what they're saying. So, hopefully we get to see some cool changes and sets Disney off to the next step.
Bigger
Yeah,
and
man.
better things. Exactly.
They gotta compete with Universal now.
I feel
Yep.
like the easiest thing to do would be to all of their big budget movies that they're making should just go to theaters instead of putting some of them into theaters and some of them into Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever it might be. Because you make these, you spend $200 million on a movie for a reason. You want to make $1 billion, let's say. You're not going to make $1 billion by putting on a streaming service and only make $5 million on a $200 million budget.
But
Plus
yeah,
Avatar
maybe.
2's budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Avatar 2 budget needs like, hey, we need to be the 4th highest grossing movie of all time to break even.
Man, imagine
But that doesn't
if,
make sense.
I think
Imagine-
it's because it's 2, 3, and 4.
But that doesn't make sense. The 4th highest grossing movie of all time.
the
Yeah.
movie.
So he has to make $2 billion. That's what he's saying.
But the movie's budget is like 250.
But that's
right?
nothing. Okay.
But
so
that's what I'm saying. Like it's 250. They could
Maybe he
make,
said that jokingly and we just
it
read it
might
out
have
of
been
context.
because even if it's, let's say it's 300 million, and and usually half of your budget is advertising. So then really the movie is 450 million. So they probably need to make like 800, 900.
They need to make that
Yeah.
Doctor Strange
But that's
Multiverse
not
of Madness
2
money.
billion. So for him
Yeah.
to say we need to make 2 billion, it's like, so you're saying this movie cost almost $1 billion to make? I doubt it.
No way.
I can
Got
see
it.
where maybe because I would assume that the next couple movies might be filmed back to back. So
Well,
maybe
didn't
he
they film
needs
this one back to back?
the
I
money to
think
do it.
They
but
filmed 2 and 3.
2 and 3
back to
should be
back.
back
they
to
filmed
back.
these back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
maybe they're
It's
saying
4
it as like
and
the
5
cost
or
of-
however many are left are the ones that are
Yeah.
unsure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4 and
remember-
5 are the ones that are
And,
gonna.
and remember,
realize.
at World's End is still technically like one of the most expensive movies
Which
I'll
is
ever make.
crazy. The Pirates?
The Pirates 3.
It's crazy.
Pirates 3.
Then you got Fast 10.
Fast 10.
Being
Not
like
your seatbelt.
300 something million.
Yeah, because I think all the actors are getting paid like $40 million. or something like that.
That's too much. They're getting paid too much.
It's like they're all getting that Robert Downey Jr. money.
F is for
But
financial
none of
ruin.
none of them are Robert Downey Jr. So
Exactly.
Because it's their family.
except for Ludacris.
Ludacris can get that money
You
and
can give
possibly
Ludacris the money
Tyrese
just because it's the family featuring Ludacris. That's
Yeah.
what those movies are.
featuring Ludacris. And speaking of ludicrous, that's you know, we tell you to get back before you
You don't know me like
you know me like that. Yeah, all up in my ear.
or it's time to roll out.
Roll
Oh, I
out.
like it.
That's it. So talk about roll out. We're going to call that one for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the fun little kind of you know, get together and just chat about the current state of stuff, the things we've watched. You know, all our recommendations, we'll have them here through the episode. We also have our polls up on Twitter and Instagram on Popcorn Watchlist. If you're listening through your podcast platform of choice and have us follow there, go ahead and please follow us on our social media, interact. We love to throw out polls, answer questions, take your recommendations too, guys. So check that out. We look forward to it. You hear us before or even after. Hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, and you know, sit around, watch some good TV or watch some good movies. Maybe some good movies first. But with that, guys, and ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time.
All right, see you guys.
Later, guys.
Watch that White Lotus.
Happy Thanksgiving.